Let's talk to Kinsey Schofield, because she may or may not have watched that cringe fest in the Oval Office yesterday, but I'm going to show it to her anyway, just because it involves the King, which is a specialist subject of hers. Kinsey, very good morning to you.
Can I nominate Meghan Markle to go to the moon with Katy Perry and Jeff Bezos?
Can we put Harry on there as well? Nice.
Exactly, yeah.
You know,
him too.
You'd have to explain to him where he was going, obviously, because he wouldn't really understand, would he? I'm going to show you this, which I think is one of the most cringy things I think I've ever seen on television. This is Keir Starmer talking to the President of the United States of America and offering him a trip to see the King.
It is my pleasure to bring from His Majesty the King a letter. He sends his best wishes and his regards, of course, but he also asked me to bear this letter and bring it to you. So can I present the letter from the King to
Thank you very much. Am I supposed to read it right now?
Yeah, please do.
I will do.
I've got to tell him what your reaction is, so I need to know.
He is a great gentleman. A great, great gentleman. That is really nice. I must make sure his signature's on that. Otherwise, it's not quite as meaningful. It is, and that's quite a signature, isn't it? Beautiful. He's a beautiful man, a wonderful man, and we appreciate it. I've known him, gotten to know him very well, actually. First term and now second term. Perhaps you'd like to say what that very important paragraph...
Yes, so this is a letter from His Majesty the King. It's an invitation for a second state visit. This is really special. This has never happened before. This is unprecedented. And I think that just symbolises the strength of the relationship between us. So this is a very special letter. I think the last state visit was a tremendous success.
It was.
His Majesty the King wants to make this even better than that. So this is truly historic, an unprecedented second state visit. He wants to talk that through with you.
And that says at Windsor. That's really something.
I mean, I just feel kind of icky, generally. Just the touching, you know, the hand on the shoulder. It's like, what's he doing?
Flirt alert. I mean, does Keir Starmer have a crush on my president?
I think
it was
he does.
It was a little creepy, as you said.
Yeah.
But I also didn't like the way that he presented it as if this was some big, giant surprise, because if you read Melania Trump's autobiography, you'd know that she's very close pen pals with King Charles and has been for years. I would expect nothing less than for the president to reunite with the King. But can I tell you, I imagined Camilla, the Queen, laughing over tea at the idea of President Trump calling the King a beautiful man. I do imagine that they likely got a kick out of the use of those words.
Yes.
But, you know, in America, we know how much Donald Trump absolutely adores the royal family. We assumed the feeling was mutual. He said recently that he would not deport Prince Harry because, well, he said he's got bigger issues on his hands.
He certainly has.
But we heard from, his wife is terrible, is what Trump said. But we heard from sources that he adores the King so much and realized that Harry would be a bigger thorn in the King's side in the UK, so he wouldn't put him in that position. And I just feel like I've heard Eric Trump talk about being a child and being around the royal family. So to me, that this is a relationship that is clearly important to President Trump. And for Keir Starmer to show up and act like he is the one that's facilitating this relationship, that's what's so offensive to me, because the relationship exists and it's good.
Yes. I mean, the relationship has always been good between Donald Trump and the royal family, as you say. The relationship between Keir Starmer and Donald Trump hasn't always been so good, because Keir Starmer used to think he was dangerous, and he was sitting there in the same room in the Oval Office with David Lammy, who last time he came to Britain on a state visit, which Starmer referred to as very successful, was threatening to chain himself to the railings of Downing Street to protest against the fact that this ghastly, racist, misogynist member of the white supremacy group had come to Britain.
Well, I do have to. Marco Rubio never went to that extent, but I saw Marco Rubio sitting in the room, and it did make me laugh thinking about all the times I heard President Trump call Marco Rubio little L-I-D-D-L-E, little Marco Rubio. So this is one of those bizarre professions where you are two-faced. You just are. And Keir Starmer is that, he completely is. But I saw cartoon hearts shooting out of his eyeballs as he sat there next to Donald Trump. And based on, based on the fact that I'm old enough to remember during the 2024 campaign season, Labor sending members over to the United States to campaign for Kamala Harris, that did surprise me to see Keir Starmer so lovey-dovey towards him.
I know. It's just, I mean, I just felt so depressed about it yesterday watching it. I just thought, he's basically demeaning not only himself, but the kind of the whole nation, that this is what we have to do, produce a letter that presumably could have been sent by a more reliable method to
like
Donald
Prince
Trump.
William. I'm sure Prince William.
Yeah, as if, but as
the
if
king would rather.
Right, as if to say, but we can offer you, a trip to see the king, and hopefully that will cheer you up and make you feel better, and maybe
like
do some business with us.
Like it's Disneyland.
I know.
Yeah, like it's Disneyland.
I know, it's just awful. I can't get over it. And I mean, the papers here are treating it as though it's been a sort of bromance and it's all worked out well for Britain, and Starmer's done a great thing by sucking up to Trump. It's not because I don't like Trump. I do like Trump. I just know that Starmer doesn't, and so I can't stand the hypocrisy of it all.
Well, that's because you're a man with a good moral compass, and it doesn't
it's not what
take
everybody
that.
says, but I'll take it from you. Thank you very much.
It doesn't take usually people involved in politics. That's one of the things that they lack.
Yes.
But yeah, I agree with you. I felt like it was a little icky, having the backstory. They were putting on a big show for us, and that's fine. The letter from the king was. It looked like an act of desperation, but it was the kind of pizzazz we like here in the States. Your royal family is something that we are fixated on. So I thought it looked desperate, but I think it worked in their favor.
Well, very possibly so. We've got to talk about Meghan Markle. She's in the papers here today after appearing on her Instagram yesterday, doing a little dance around the kitchen with somebody who apparently...
Hey, Mike, if you put Meghan doing that dance to the YMCA, it's frightening how much it looks like she's doing the Trump dance. She's doing the Trump dance.
And that would really horrify her if she thought that's what you were interpreting from it. But apparently she put it up there, then took it down, and then put it back up again. What was that all about?
Well, she tends to upload things incorrectly because I think she was away from Instagram for so long, so she doesn't understand like vertical, the real method. Perhaps it was something technical like that. I felt like this went up because she was trying to distract from the 60 Minutes Australia interview with Jason Kanoff that reignited those bully rumors. Because in this little video, she's hugging crew members, she's giggling with crew members, she's dancing with crew members, and she's thanking them. So it very much felt like, ignore Jason Kanoff, ignore those bully allegations that are resurfacing, focus on how sweet I am, focus on my new show. But did you see the new reports that Prince Harry's visa paperwork could be released on the same day as Meghan Markle's show?
Oh, wow.
Which could potentially divert attention away from Meghan's rebrand number 476, and could, that could upset her if all eyes are not on her new project, if this information is released and there's anything compelling within that visa information.
Absolutely right. Well, we should look forward to that, because I can hardly wait. I can hardly contain myself with the amazing show that I'm going to be able to see about Meghan in her kitchen, which isn't actually her kitchen, with a lot of people who are her friends, who aren't really her friends, doing things that she doesn't really do.
Yeah, like freezing water and flowers in water, because that's compelling television.
My goodness me. I must ask you while I've got you on about that terrible story yesterday about Gene Hackman and his wife found dead in their house in Santa Fe in New Mexico. It now turns out today, we were told yesterday the police thought it might be some kind of double suicide, but we're now told this morning that the bodies were mummified and they may have been there for a couple of weeks. They may have died some time ago. It's a very strange story, isn't it?
It just keeps getting weirder and weirder. So what The information we currently have, this is a fluid situation, it could clearly evolve, is that the door was open when a caretaker showed up and stumbled upon the bodies. The bodies could have potentially been there for 2 weeks. Now, his daughter at one point said she wondered if it was carbon monoxide poisoning, but there were pills all over the bathroom where his wife was found near one of the dogs. Jean was found in a different room, and 2 of the dogs were found alive on the property okay. So, you know, that's where some of the questions lie. Where were these other 2 dogs to where they weren't affected if this was potentially a carbon monoxide incident? And why was the door open? When did the door open? Why were Jean and his wife in separate rooms? There are a lot of questions, but sad knowing what this man gave to the entertainment industry before it turned upside down.
Right, one of the great actors, one of the great stars. Good to see you. Kinsey, great to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed. Have a lovely weekend. Kinsey Schofield there reporting into us from the US of A.